Hey class, this is your video to show you how to do a visual analysis of a product. This one is for this 3D coffee maker that I'm going to use to kind of analyze. I've completed the visual analysis matrix. You're going to do the same for two products in the graded assignment. At this point, you've gone through the elements, or we've gone through the elements, principles of design, PowerPoint. This is definitely a resource you should have up while you're working on this. Okay, so you can reference back to it. As you're looking at your product, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to identify these design elements. For each one, are they present? How are they present? And you just want to just report it as a fact. Hey, this is what I'm seeing regarding these design elements. After you've done that, you're going to use these design elements to then identify how they are creating these principles of design below. Okay, so let's kind of just jump into it and look at this coffee maker. Just want to look at this coffee maker. It looks like it has a lot of rounded surfaces. It's got this little pattern cut in, probably for the steam to come out. It's got a lid with a hinge on the back that you can probably pop this open so that you can put a K-cup or coffee grounds into it. Obviously, coffee comes out of here. And then it looks like there's this kind of padded mesh bottom with like a raised surface to it so that we could create some type of texture so the mug won't slip. Underneath of it, bear with me here, back up. Got some venting for the electronics when it's running so it doesn't overheat, and just some other things down here. Okay, so let's kind of look at this. For lines, it's mostly curved lines used to create curved surfaces. I think we can kind of see that there. It's a very futuristic looking, a lot of curved edges, kind of creating organic shapes that mimic nature, almost like pod shapes, kind of things like that. So I simply put mostly curved lines used to create curved surfaces. For color, there's bright red and black. They're both in high value range. They're not like pastel or light colored. Okay, so colors are in the high value range for value. For color, bright red and black accents. Part of the coffee shell in different colors. There's a white mug, so part of the shell is in red, and then other portions of it are in black. For the shapes, there's circles and ellipses, and that's what I said there. A lot of circles and ellipses and just curved edges. And for the form, they're creating cylindrical type shapes, solid forms. Created by the ellipses, which is really creating the organic shapes. So the ellipses, which are just these arcs that then if you use them to continue would make an ellipse, things like that, are just used to create these organic shapes. So just kind of say that. Space, it doesn't look really over cluttered. There isn't a whole lot of extra elements in here. It's very basic in nature, which is kind of one of those principles later. It has a kind of a concave surface for where the mug goes. So there's this negative space here for where the mug goes. And last is texture. It looks like it's a very smooth plastic texture, all the black and the red. Although down here for this bottom part, it is got a raised bumpy surface that's kind of patterned right here. So smooth plastic, soft base with bumpy surface. So after you have identified these elements, let's see where the principles are. So, you kind of come through balance. What kind of balance does it have? It looks like it has kind of a symmetrical balance, kind of from the front side. The shapes and the lines are being used to kind of create this. So for the balance, have shapes, the form, the spacing. I could even have lines here for helping create that balance. It's a symmetrical balance. It's a formal symmetrical balance. It's not asymmetrical or radial or anything like that. For emphasis, I said rounded surfaces seem to lead to the concave space for the cup. So there is slight focus here. As you look at it, a lot of the lines and shapes are just kind of leading in. They're just all saying, hey, the mug goes right here, the coffee's coming out. So visually, there's a little bit of like I said, kind of emphasis pointing towards this area right in here. For contrast, the red and the black is creating a contrast. The white, which isn't really part of the product, is creating contrast in the picture, but the red and the black are creating contrast to one another. So that's what I said here. And I also said the textured base contrasts with the smooth sides. So this textured top right here really contrasts with these smooth sides, which is more functional purpose on why it's there. For the rhythm, there's regular rhythm repeated with the circles on the base and top. So for the rhythm, there's, oh, here we go. Let me zoom in. You can see it. So right in here, there's regular rhythm for these surfaces in here, or for these raised bumps on the surface. They're not graduated or gradial or anything like that. It's just normal rhythm. And proportion, overall, all the shapes seem to be well proportioned. The head right here doesn't seem to be too large or small. The area in here seems to be large enough for a mug and for basic cups. The base doesn't seem like overly large or small, and most mugs will be able to fit on it. So overall, I think there's a lot of unity with the shape, with the shapes and the form. Unity in the color. Also, it all tends to have like that high value range. So I put there's some unity in the color. That's a good one. And then finally for economy, it's very clean. It's very straightforward. It's clean lines. There aren't a lot of extra elements to confuse the person. It's supposed to be very basic. I don't even see a button to turn it on. So at some point you got to be able to turn this thing on. So it seems very basic and high in economy. So no extraneous elements, clean flowing lines. So that's that. So this is what I want you to do. You're going to select 2 products. Make sure you look at the assignment. I'll be going over that with you. I hope this helps and just kind of doing a visual analysis.